Iron in the soul. What's up, YouTube? This is King Jabez back with another very important message. Please subscribe to my channel, like this video, share this video, leave a comment, let me know what you think about my content. In addition to that, please feel free to follow me over on Instagram at The King Jabez, as well as my website, theironandsoul.com. It will all be greatly appreciated. Well, chosen ones, let's work. Let's talk about today something that's been on my spirit for the last 2 or 3 weeks. Really for years, but in this particular case, a couple of weeks. And it's talking about soul contracts. And so I want to give you a very direct message. Look at this as like a YouTube DM. The soul contract is over. Imagine if I gave you a DM right now. Imagine, better case, be honest, more powerful, if the Most High right now, let's say God gave you a DM and he said to you, the soul contract is over. How would you feel? You will feel relief, joy. It's like breaking some chains. Kind of like Boosie felt. This is in my mind right now. I gotta laugh. Shout out to Boosie. Boosie got out of jail yesterday. And he was on the internet, and Boosie is a comedian, man. He get him a job. He stopped rapping and started being a comedian. And he was online. I'm back, you know, and I want to thank God. And it was hilarious. I've seen that video probably 4 or 5 times. And so Boosie got out of jail. He's feeling real good. So imagine, look at how Boosie felt yesterday getting out that jail. This is how you and I feel when the Most High brings us out of a spiritual prison. Just as Boosie was in an actual jail and got out when he recorded that live yesterday, you and I have been in spiritual prisons. It's that real. So just as Boosie's, this is a perfect analogy because it's happening right now. Just as Boosie was in a physical jail, many of you, your spirit was in a prison. A contract, a vow, a curse. A curse is when a demon, or demons plural, have legal ground to you. They have permission based on your actions, the actions of your parents and ancestors. That's what we talk about, generational now. Generational curses come from mama, daddy. A lot of you right now. And by the way, I read all those comments on that video, the humiliation ritual, pushing over 55,000 views now, over 1,000, close to 1,000 comments. I read most of them. I think I read almost all of them, if I'm not mistaken. And, you know, your comments gave me some great insight for this particular video. So I want to thank you all who are watching me. Your feedback is what really stirred the pot for this video today. And so I plan to, at some point in this video, actually read several of those comments because they add so much teeth and weight to what I'm saying today. And so many of you are going through this right now. You're trying to break these soul contracts. You know, I hear your desire to break free from the dysfunction, from depravity, from the same cycles you've seen grandma, mama, auntie, daddy, uncle, grandfather repeat. And you're trying to break free from that. And so it's a contract. And so it's when these spirits have this legal access to you based on, you know, not just your parents, but decisions you made. Bitterness can give a demon legal access when you hold on to a grudge, unforgiveness. Soul ties when you're linking up with the wrong people. You know what I mean? A soul tie can be street affiliation. It could be affiliation with a church, a religion. There are many ways to have a soul tie. It could be a soul tie to a man, to a woman. And many of you are struggling to break free from those attachments. That's why we call them emotional attachments. It's hard to break free from someone you have been with intimately for 5, 10, 15 years in some cases, even 1 or 2 years, as long enough to build attachment. You know what I mean? You got kids with this person, and it becomes this burden to you that has to be broken. Are you drawing? You follow? So, you know, even when you're in the streets, you know, a lot of you, I saw the comments, my 290 brother, I'm from the west side of Chicago. I'm being honest about that. I will admit on camera, I am, by the grace of God, by the grace of the Most High, I am an ex-gang member. And so, you know, I know from first-hand experience with that, when you are in a gang with the guys, that's a soul tie. You know, there is a strong spiritual connection. I was saying prayers to Satan. Do you hear me? This is what I know. So I had to face the east and raise my hand up to the devil and make some prayers and vows and oaths. That's a contract. So this is why when you get in the game, you got those prayers. You're talking to the devil. You got the symbolism, the handshakes. You're shaking up with the guys. You know, you don't know what the 40s and the drinking. That's the sorcery spirit. I'm painting a picture for you. This is what's happening in our communities right now. If you're wondering, man, what's going on? I'm telling you what's going on, man. And this is not a judgment. This is not from a place of self-righteousness and none of that type of stuff. That's not the energy I have at all. I'm just trying to give it real because I care. Sorcery through the drugs, through the alcohol, the spirituality through the prayers, facing the east and all those oaths and whatnot, the symbolism, the blood that's shed, the sexual soul ties, you're linking up with 5, 10, 15 different women. All that stuff has become a contract over your spirit. And for many of you, you want to break that. Right? You're at a place in life now where, you know what, I no longer want that lifestyle. And even if it's not gang life, it could be an addiction to alcohol. It could be drugs. It can be sorcery. It could be sexual soul ties. Many of you right now are really struggling in that area where you got about 4 or 5 girls in rotation. Some of you men, some of you women got 4 or 5 guys in rotation. I'm going to go ahead and just tell the truth. You know what I mean? And this has become a contract over your soul, and you enjoy that experience, right? That's why you do it. It's fun. But what you don't enjoy is the results of that. The pain, the nightmares, the frustration, the long nights, being in that cell, being in that financial situation, being in that gym, the repercussions of that. That can become a soul tie. And so I heard in my spirit very clearly 2 or 3 weeks ago, the contract is up. And so I felt like there was some curse that I broke by the grace of the Most High. I'm going to put that out there very clearly. And I learned from this experience, and I'm trying to teach this to you. Curses are very hard to break. I don't care how spiritual you are. I don't care how well-intentioned you may be. When you're trying to leave one demonic level and go to a spiritual one, this is what I know, it's going to be hard. You're going to have opposition. But I want you to know that everything you're doing right now to go in that direction is not in vain. I want to encourage you. Some of you are praying right now. Some of you are fasting. Some of you are working 2, 3 jobs. Some of you are in the gym. All that's part of breaking the curse, by the way. You see, curses are not just broken from the spiritual only. Some of you get stuck right there. All you got to do is pray, read the Bible, and fast, and I'll be fine. And then other people, forget all that. I'm just finna work out, hit that gym, give me 2, 3 jobs, get my money up, get my women up, and I'm good. You know what I mean? So it's both extremes. Whereas where I stand, I try to be in the middle. Nothing wrong with getting your money up. You should tell I stay fit. I'm in the gym. Stay in the gym. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Stay in the gym, my boy. Get fit. Stay strong. Get your bread right. A woman's going to respect that. But don't forget to deal with the spirit too. It's okay to pray from time to time. It's okay to fast from time to time. It's okay to read the book. Get some spiritual knowledge. So I believe in having both. And that makes you a holistic man or woman. But that's enough of me talking. Let me let you all talk right now. This is what you came to hear. I want you to hear what your peers are saying. And so I got some comments I wrote down I think will be helpful for this conversation. I'm reading for you. He says, this is one young man. He says, I left my parents' home and I'm currently living in a hotel. And that comment had 558 likes and over 100 replies. So, and I read those replies. A lot of you have been through this very thing when and this is really on topic of the soul contracts, right? So I'm bringing this. It's not to embarrass this young man because guess what? I told you in my story. I've been there too. 19, when they put me out. So I understand all this, right? And so part of that, sometimes that breaking of that contract is you go through a tough time first. And so this young man right now is going through something that a lot of us have been through when you're starting at the bottom. So what does that say to you? Sometimes in breaking the curse, you got to start over. Things will go bad sometimes before they become good. So if you're going through that breaking process, don't give up. I want to encourage you. Keep on going. You're on the right track. It may not look like it right now. You know what I mean? But you're making the decisions necessary to break yourself free and to experience that abundance and prosperity that comes to the chosen ones. Bitterness. May we not repeat this season. Typing this while in my 9th year at retail. I have no intention of staying with this job. That's a contract being broken. I appreciate a lot of you who make a decision. Not wrong working a job, by the way. You got to pay your bills. But I think what this man is saying is that, okay, this is cool for now, but this is not my future. I'm not going to spend my whole life here. You know what I mean? And so that's a part of breaking the contract, is making a decision to trust yourself. As Nipsey would say, to gamble on yourself. It's okay to gamble on yourself the right way and to use your true skills. In other words, you have abilities, you have talents, you have resources that are greater than that store you're working for. That company, that job, that place of business may not even be utilizing who you really are. So I want to motivate a lot of you who hear this message. I know a bunch of you. Don't bury your dreams working for somebody else. If you have talents, you have goals, you have something you want to do, don't lose that working a job. Again, nothing wrong with a job. You got to do what you got to do, but don't die there. Make a decision to, at some point, make that transition, break that contract, and to go on for yourself. Spiritual cleansing. The soul is changing and transforming. Man, I had to stop and ask the Most High, what is going on? This is one of the ladies who said this. One of the ladies who watched the channel. By the way, ladies, you're welcome. A lot of you have been tuning in for the last few weeks. I want you to keep coming over and comment. Feel comfortable to comment. I want you to keep doing this. One of the ladies commented, and she said she had to really just flat out ask God, okay, man, God, what is going on? And I'm going to be real with you guys. I'm not going to sit there and even cap for you for this video. There have been times in my life over the last 3 years in particular, and it goes to this comment right here. Right here. What did he say right here? Ever since 2020, a lot of depressing things have occurred in my life. I feel like I am in the twilight zone. Right? And I can imagine a lot of you feel the same way. Am I not correct? I bet you it's 100 of you right now who feel exactly like this. Man, this is like, I'm in the twilight zone. The things is, I'm depressed, money not right, people acting crazy, you know, all this financial pressure. Yeah, you look at your phone, there's always something crazy going on social media, and you wonder, okay, what's going on? Right? You're not dumb. You see that there's a shift. So there is a real spiritual shift happening right now. And I trust and hope that you are on the right side of that shift. Because some people are going to go down and others will go forward. And so I hope that you are the ones who are on the right side. Because I'm telling you, with all this bad stuff happening, this is what's going to happen, chosen ones. Let me speak to you. The Most High is about to elevate his people. The ones who are following him and honoring him, he has a blessing for you. Let me talk to you. He's been watching you for the last 3 years. Fighting, struggling, going to work that job that ain't really helping that much. Keeping that car running is hard to keep running. Going to that gym where you're struggling to keep yourself from battling the suicidal thoughts. See, this is happening right now. This is real life. People are out here battling the suicidal thoughts. Depression, anger, frustration, addiction. And while you're facing all that, you're trying your best to do the right thing and to break free from those contracts. So if you're doing that, your time is coming. Pain, suffering, trials don't last forever. The season will change. Let me give you that piece. The season will change. It won't rain forever. The sun got to come out at some point, right? And so if you're going through this right now, there is a matter of time before you get your blessing, your breakthrough, when the contract ends. So just as I felt in my spirit very clearly a few weeks ago, contract broke. And I saw a shift in some things God's doing in my life behind the scenes. I'm seeing it manifest in real life. So as that woman was saying, I feel like at times what's going on, there's a lot of confusion, frustration, and events happening in your life that don't make sense. And sometimes this can be a sign, not just to her, but to all of us, that there is some demonic activity around us that has to be regulated. In other words, there are curses that need to be broken. So just because you are chosen doesn't mean they're not curses you have to break. There are spirits right there by you waiting to bring you down. Waiting for you to pick up that bottle. Waiting for you to get on that phone and call that woman, call that man. Waiting for you, ladies, I'm talking to about 4 or 5 of you right now who are struggling financially and you are wrestling with the temptation to hop on one of the websites. I'm not trying to be funny. I ain't trying to diss. I'm being dead serious. Don't do that. Because that's what the devil wants you to do. He wants you to hop right into that lane. Because in that lane is all that demonic energy through the spirits, the crazy men who will be watching you, the ones who are drinking, and you men too, who are doing the right thing. Here come these ladies who just want you for your money. So a lot of you right now that are doing well, let me speak to you. There are people all around you who want to bring you down. So if there's a man that's about 4 or 5 men watching you, they want to bring you down. If you are a lady doing well, there's a bunch of people watching you who don't want to see you prosper, who want to get what you have, who may be jealous of your looks, who may be jealous of your influence, who may be jealous of your social media following, who may be jealous of your relationship, the fact that you have kids, they don't have kids. It could be a number of reasons why a person's jealous. Who knows why, and if it even makes sense or not. So all of this is what you experience when something is breaking. So all that pressure you're feeling right now is that something's breaking in the spirit realm. Let me talk to you for a second. You're breaking those curses. You're breaking those spells. You're trying to break free from that. And as you're breaking free, those spirits are right there still trying to grab you. So that's when those crazy thoughts come. That thought in the middle of the night to do something you shouldn't do. That thought to go hop in your car right now and go to the liquor store. You did. You're wrestling with that stuff because you're going through a spiritual transformation. He says, I have been going through it with my family. Trials and tribulations. I felt this message, brother, the last 2 years have been a test of all tests. And this guy here, he took us right to the book. This brother took us right to the Word of God. He quoted Matthew 10:36 in the comment section. I'm going to read that one word for word. For a son dishonors his father, and a daughter rises against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and a man's enemies are the members of his own household. Man, I thought that was profound. Thus, if you got a red letter Bible, that's Jesus speaking. That is Jesus speaking to you. He is telling you and I that in these last days, sometimes your enemies will be your own kin. So some of you, it's about 50 right now, who are wrestling with problems with your own blood. Just like the young man that's in the hotel right now. He's right, and I went through this in my own blood. This is real life. Real blood. I went through this blood. And a lot of times, those curses and spells come through your bloodline. Bloodline, generation, curses, spells, contracts. Look all these words up. I only can give you so much in a YouTube video. Look all these words up. I want you to go Google those words. Google what a spell is. Go Google curses, soul contracts, generational curses, bloodlines, legal ground, demonization. And as you begin to study those words, you're going to begin to understand what's happening to you. And that will give more context, more weight to that message about humiliation. And so as we go through the humiliation, there is life on the other side. I have to follow that message with this one. There's life on the other side. You're breaking something. So the humiliation is not just to embarrass you. It's to help you prosper. To become, in other words, let me give you this as I wrap this message up. It is on you. Lil Wayne voice. You. To break that curse. That spirit follow grandma, granddaddy, mama, daddy, unc, TT, and now it's up to you. God, for whatever reason, God chose you. I can't say why. He chose me. He chose you. And it's up to you to do what family didn't do. Doesn't mean you're better than them. We're not saying that. It ain't about being better than nobody. Your family may not even have this type of knowledge, right? But for whatever reason, the Most High opened your eyes. That's the way I look at it. I don't look at it as if I'm better than my family. But for whatever reason, God chose me to open my eyes and to reveal these things to me. And so now that responsibility is on me. It is on you. You're the chosen one. You see, being a chosen one, it sounds good to say that. But what you are saying is that you are chosen by the Most High to break some stuff, to shake some stuff up, to break that curse, to get that bag, to get that relationship, to have that marriage, to have your children doing well, to have the money, the education, the finances in order. You are chosen by God to create a new bloodline. Right? Just as you have a generational curse, let me give you this piece. There is something called a generational blessing. Oh, let me park there for a second. Let me put the car in park. Yeah, let me put the car in park. Just as there is a such thing as a generational curse, you heard this before, have you? There's something called a generational blessing. And for some of you, I'm talking to about hundreds of you right now, the Most High wants you to have the generational blessing. He chose you to have the ability to break curses. I'm talking to you now, to get those spirits out your house, to experience that breakthrough, to be a world leader. Some of you are called to be political leaders. Some of you are called to be entrepreneurs, businessmen, right? To break that curse of poverty, to break free from that spirit of the vagabond, and to build community with other people who have like minds. So just as there is a generational curse, there is a such thing as a generational blessing. And it's up to you. So give me an example of that. I'm glad you asked me. King David. Let me talk to you for a second. King David is an example of a person breaking a generational curse and starting a generational blessing. He broke the curse in his 20s and 30s, became the king. And who was king after him? Let me ask you that question. Solomon, his son. One of the wisest men ever. So because David went to war and fought, he had to see. So in other words, when you're chosen to break the curse, you're going to have to fight more than other people. David had to fight more than Solomon did. You draw? It was rough for David for a while. David was in the wilderness. He was in the field. You hear me? He was out there. You know? And during those times of struggle, being out there out west, $290 with $20 in your pocket. I'm going to talk to you now. Over there, 26 California, praying. You know what I mean? That you know, the Bible in your cell, saying, God help me out. You know what I mean? Doing all those struggles. If you're strong enough, you can break the curse that will position your son, your seed, your prince, to do better than you. That's what I want. I want my son who's 7, you know, I want my son to do better than me. I want to work hard enough over the next 11 years so when my son's an 18-year-old young man, he's in a good position. That's my responsibility. So, you know, a lot of times, you know, let me talk to some real person now. Here we go. I got to tap in with this. Let's talk. You know, a lot of people have bad things to say about the youth and the young culture and whatnot, what they're doing. You know, you are partially responsible for that. These are your kids. That's your son turning up. That's your daughter. So we can't blame everything on the youth like they just somehow became these uncontrollable, wild young men and women out of nowhere. What did you do, mama, daddy, for your son and daughter to even go that route? Why is your 16-year-old son on the corner selling dope? That's a question you got to ask, mama. But we start saying that, man. Oh, man, people they get offended when we start talking truth. We want to blame everything on the young boy, on the young girl. Your daughter, 20-something, tripping. Why? That don't bother you, mama? TT? Hello? So we're so quick. What am I saying? As a community, we're so quick to blame the youth for everything. Like we were perfect. No, we wasn't. I ain't gonna sit and lie to you. I'm gonna tell you the truth. No, we wasn't. The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, sir, ma'am. That part. So, you know, yes, on one hand, you have personal accountability as an individual, the decisions that we make as men and women. But, you know, part of it is family. So how did I get into all of this? We're talking about breaking all that. We're talking about breaking all that. And starting a new generation, right? Starting a new path of success, blessing, breakthrough, prosperity. These are the words we want to get used to. We say so much about curses and demons. Let's start getting obsessed with the word blessing. Let me park right there. The word prosperity, to advance and to move forward, that's where we want to be. And that is my hope and desire for you. So I hope that this message gives you some hope on this day. I hope this will give you some encouragement, motivation. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this. I trust that you're having a good week, and I want to encourage you just to stay strong. You know, keep your head up. You know, don't allow anybody or anything to break you. And though it may not be all right, you will eventually be all right. This is your big brother, King Jabez. God bless.